Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you all to our fifth virtual leadership seminar. We'll go ahead and take our opening prayer. Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favor upon this youth impact parliament. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in thy sight. Give divine guidance, clarity, insight, and eloquence to our guest speaker and host, that they may deliver and make this virtual leadership seminar memorable and resourceful to our personal development and capacity building. We commit into your hands all participants that they may understand and adopt all that will be taught today. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Youth Impact Parliament, Volta region, and Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, I can see online our guest speaker, the person of Her Excellency Lillian Sally Addo. I can see Belly Courage, Jr., Dennis, Nketia, Che, Elijah Kanadi, Godwin Kwashi. All of you who are currently online right now, I want to welcome you. And I'll go ahead and deliver the welcome address. Madam Guest Speaker, honorable members, fellow participants, it's an honor for me to host this memorable event as your speaker of this Youth Impact Parliament once again. This youth organization is focused on impacting its members positively and significantly. This occasion is assiduously promoting the vision of this parliament. The topic for today's leadership seminar is the role of United Nations in maintaining world peace and meeting the expectations of the youth. And this topic will be handled by our guest speaker, Her Excellency Lillian Sally Addo, Country Head of United Nations Youth Association and President of Humanitarian Reachout Foundation. She is an international figure, a role model to youth of this country, and a humanitarian destined for greatness. I hereby wish, and on behalf of the leadership of this House, humbly welcome our guest speaker and all participants to our fifth virtual leadership seminar. Thank you and welcome once again. I'll proceed to introduce our guest speaker. Honorable members, Madam Lillian Sally Addo was born on the 5th of June, 1978. She is a citizen of both Ghana and America. She had her secondary education at Manfensam Girls Secondary School from 1992 to 1994. She obtained an associate degree, diploma, and certificate, bachelor degree, 2 master's degrees, and she is currently a PhD candidate. Madam Lillian Sally Addo received some awards for us in school. She received 2 Presidential List Honors and 2 Dean's List Honors, in all earning 3.96 grade points at Kaplan University. Madam Lillian Sally Addo is currently serving as the Chief Executive Officer of Creative Entertainment and Events Management Limited, Creative High-Tech Solutions, and Creative Language School from 2010 to date. She is also the founder and president of Humanitarian Reachout Foundation, which is a non-governmental organization. From 2012 to date, Madam Lillian Sally Addo served as president and co-founder of Models Union of Ghana, which is called Moduga, from 2016 to 2018. Madam Lillian Sally Addo is also serving as president of the Creative Arts College of Ghana, CACG. She is also an executive member of both Musica and Ghana Artists Club, and also she is the Supreme Board Chairperson of Moduga, all from 2018 to. Her Excellency is currently serving as country head of United Nations Youth Association Ghana. She is also the co-founder and president of Fashion Industry Association of Ghana and co-founder and board chairperson of Fashion Designers Union of Ghana since 2019. She was recently outdoored as Global Ambassador for Commonwealth Entrepreneurs Club. Her Excellency went the extra mile in her professional career and achievement to achieve the dream goal of being an influence in the lives of people and helping the vulnerable. She is also an influential person seeking to make life better for youth and persons deprived of basic fundamental human rights. And one notable achievement of her, she created opportunity for youth to serve in mimic versions of notable public offices of Ghana. Body of Oblation as the Youth Government Initiative of the United Nations Youth Association, where we have the Youth President, Youth Vice President, Chief of Staff, Youth Ministers, Sector Ministers, Deputy Sector Ministers, Youth Regional Ministers, and Deputy Regional Minister, Speaker of Parliament, Deputy Speakers, Clerk, and Youth MPs, Youth Chief Justice, Justices, and Youth Municipal, District, Chief Executives, and Mayors. Her Excellency is also a woman who has great love for the work of God. She currently is assisting Evangelist Patrick Safo in his evangelistic work and Reachout of spreading the good gospel of Jesus Christ. She is aiding in the establishment of Holy Palace Church International, HPCI. Ladies and gentlemen, from all you have heard, you can see Madame is a very heavy person, and she's here to share with us her experiences and all that she has learned with respect to United Nations, and also for us to learn from her with respect to maintaining peace and meeting the expectations of the youth that she leads. She's a very vibrant person as well, very busy, however, has made time for today's seminar. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable members, I humbly introduce to you Her Excellency Lillian Sally Addo. Her Excellency, I introduce to you your audience. Ladies and gentlemen, I now respectfully invite Her Excellency, our guest speaker, to take the floor and deliver to us her lecture on our topic for today's seminar. Madam, the floor is yours.
Thank you very, very much. Wow, that was a very long introduction. And I'm very honored to be here, Jones. And anytime I have to deal with you, I feel very. Unfortunately, I have to turn on my camera because I turned it on. I realized that my battery was running, and I just closed from a meeting, and I'm in my car. So I can't really plug things here. So I want to be able to save battery. Along the line, if I realize that we are going and I have enough battery, I'll turn it on again. So fantastic. I hope that I'll be pardoned. Yes. Yes. Better for me to save it and then lose you guys halfway.
Exactly.
Yeah. But in the meantime, I hope that everybody can hear me and everybody is fine.
We can hear you perfectly.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So the congratulations to this group for inviting me, and then Lou Jones, who is the director admin of the United Nations Youth Association Ghana. I've been monitoring you guys, and I can tell that from all the way in the Water region, you guys are doing very well compared to a lot of youth parliamentary groups in Accra, who would wait sometimes for their districts or municipals to organize stuff for them. And I believe that it's all because of the leadership that you have. And I don't want to make promises, but I'll just make sure that the Parliament office is aware of the good things that they are doing. So just in case that they are doing anything to choose the best parliamentary, to remember that all the way in the Volta region, under the leadership of the Honorable Speaker, all right, Honorable Speaker Jones, you guys are doing very well.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
So today we want to know something about the United Nations and what role they are putting in place to maintain peace um, with respect to young people. I hope I'm right.
Yes,
I'm
please.
not reading. Yeah. So first of all, it would be nice that all of us know what the UN is and when it was formed. But anytime I'm talking about the United Nations, I encourage young people to know the UN Charter. That's very, very important. Very, very important.
Yes, please.
But let me just say that when you talk about the United Nations, in simple terms, a lot of people think that the UN is a company that is there. That's just like how we have different organization or international organizations. When we talk about the United Nations, it simply means different governmental organizations, okay, aiming to maintain peace and security and also enhance um, friendly relationship or unity among nations. Simple terms. If somebody says, what's the UN? Oh, sorry, please hold on.
Yes. Madam was distracted by
Yeah,
a call. Yes.
yeah. So, the United Nations in Washington, like I said, was formed in October 2024, 1945, October 24, 1945. Okay, and this was after the World War, and we know how war starts. Today, we are going to focus on peace and security. So, if there was a war, I just need all of you to understand this in very simple terms. There was a war, in the Second World War, whatever. And after the war, the world realized that there has to be what is called United Nations, intergovernmental organization to maintain international peace. When we say world war, it means that one way or the other, the whole world was involved in this war. If the whole world is friendly and or united, there's no way we will fight. It's just like being in your family. If you're united, your uncle's side is united with your grandmother's side or your paternal side, there's peace and everybody is living in harmony. You know, there's good communication, there's understanding, there's trade amongst you. There's everything is very transparent. I don't think that there'll be confusion. Even in our very homes. If you're not at peace with your wife, you can realize that it affects your children. Most of you are young here, so you understand that among you siblings, if you have 4 kids and one person decides to be close to the other, and the other person is close to the other, and there's no good communication, people can just even read along the lines, read meanings into what is not necessary, and jump to conclusions. Even in our schools, all these things happen. So let's say that in your parliament, if the speaker decides to be one-sided and there's no unity, there's no friendliness, there will not be peace. So when there's a lot of chaos, misunderstanding, and there's always confusion, there will not be progress. So that's when the speaker or one or two people can stand and say, listen, this is happening because there's too much division. Let's come together and form one body. We are different governments, we are different people, but it's very important that we become one people so that we can do things among ourselves, so that we can have meetings among ourselves. I'll not sit down and say, okay, I'm in Africa, I'm in Ghana, let's do our thing. Let's have a face that will interlock all of us. And then once a year, we'll have something that is called General Assembly. An assembly is where a group of people come together, sit down and dialogue. And it's usually there's more peace and there's more harmony when people sit down and they talk. You realize that when two people want to come into agreement, there's no way there can be an agreement without communication. So the world decided that, listen, we cannot sit down and watch the world fight again. It's possible that somebody might not understand somebody in the near future. The only way out is to come together as one body. So that is what we call, that is how the foundation, how the United Nations came about. And if you look at the word united, united means unity. Nations means nation, country. So we have the plural word, nation. Peace and security, to develop friendly relationship. And the most important thing is to achieve harmony. You know? So that was the main purpose of why the United Nations was formed. And I have just said, and most of this information, we don't have to go too much. If you Google, you can even find a lot and lots of them. Okay?
Yes, please.
October 24, 1945, in San Francisco, California, in the United States of America. That was where this was done. I think now we have about 193 countries being part of the United Nations. Okay? And then what else do you have to know? At least with this background story, when 1945, when the UN was formed, it's like when we have our constitutions, we have our organizations, and then we have to create something like a book or something to have all the stories or the details and everything. You cannot say that you volunteer for the UN or your country is part of the member states and you do not have any knowledge at all in what is called the Charter of the United Nations. The Charter of the United Nations. That is the founding document, okay? It was signed on 26th of June 1945 in the same San Francisco. And this is a document that ensures equal treatment in social, economic, and commercial matters for all members of the United Nations. So it means that for every member state, when I say member state, every country that is part of the UN, the United Nations, okay? So if you go online and you begin to even research and you realize that everything UN talks about unity, and the whole idea is to make sure that we have peace and security. And the reason why it's important to have peace and security was because the focus is on that area because of the war that came in the world. We realized that we cannot continue living like this. So in all aspects of the UN, realize that peace and security is usually a very, 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 very strong factor. Very strong factor. And then one thing, so I mean, you guys should put down the UN Charter. You have to know about it. It's very, very important because it is the founding document of the United Nations. Okay, if Jones and I decide to be founders of something, one day we might not be there. If somebody should come again, what would they know about that thing? It will grow and become big. There should be a blueprint, something that people can look on and look at the vision, the reasons, the every detail that needs to be known. So the founding document of the UN, all of you must try to read about it. It's very, very important. But let me touch base a little about the framework of the UN system. Okay, the UN, when we talk about all these countries coming together to form one intergovernmental organization, it has 6 main arms. Okay, we call it the 6 principal organs of the UN. So the entire UN that we see like this is if I can say divided or is put into 6 organs. I mean, like if you have a body organ, different organs of your body. So the UN is made up of the Secretariat, the General Assembly, the Security Council, the Economic and Social Council, the International Court of Justice, and the Trusteeship Council. You have to know these things too. I mean, like, you cannot have a lecture like this and not know about why the UN was formed, what the UN is, when or what triggered it to be formed, the founding documents, and then the main arms. So try and get into that, okay? And you can, when you get confused, you can also research on who wrote on the UN Charter. Roosevelt and the Prime Minister of I think it's British, right? British Prime Minister Winston Churchill. Yeah, he wrote it. They wrote the UN Charter. So try and research more on that. Okay. So now we have the underlying background. Underlying background. Every member state, when I say member state again, the countries that are part of the UN that have their representations must have a representation, or they all have representations during General Assembly. This assembly happens once a year in September at the headquarters of the UN in New York, where every country and the people that represent usually are the president. They represent, and then they talk and they dialogue. So that if there's somebody does not understand anything, it's an open discussion, and then that's where things are. Now, with this, now let's come to the youth. The reason why the youth is very, very important to the UN. Extremely important, because how many people on this platform, I don't know how many of us have witnessed a war that has older men and women holding walking stakes and who cannot stand straight fighting. I know you're muted, but you can ask yourself these questions. How many times have you seen, even in your own town, when there's conflict, how many times do you see people who are, like, even in different houses, even if there are two families who are arguing among themselves, or even two chiefs, most of the time there are chiefs. How many times do we see chiefs fighting, or two tribes not getting along, and you realize that the chief themselves, the elders of the land, they get up and then they go and fight?
Very true. It's mostly the youth that really engage in the fight, not the old men.
Okay. So, with that said, simple and short, the elders will have meetings, and most of the time you will see chieftaincy meetings, and when very old people and sitting down dialoguing, and then they start arguing. And then when they come home and then they spread how they feel and they're not happy, they will come and talk, and then the youth will start putting themselves together. But they are very energetic. And then they go to the war front and they start fighting. Not only with our chieftaincy listing, even in the legislature, the government, our MPs, our ministers, you realize that most of the time, even in our constituencies, or let's even look at our political parties, majority of our political parties will start argument, MPP, NDC, CPP, blah, blah, blah. And when the things get out of hand, then they'll go back. And then if they have money, they'll begin to chant the youth in their constituency, go fight them. You understand? And the sad truth is that when the youth are chanted like that, they don't care about anything at the time. If they are being given money, then that's the focus. You know? And the youth realize that, listen, we've formed this thing, and we are all presidents of every country are normally older people. Presidents are older people, and they represent, the main thing is the General Assembly. And these people are those who come, sit down, dialogue, blah, blah, blah. So something needs to be done about this. We have to take the United Nations outside just coming for General Assembly meetings, blah, blah, blah. This thing needs to be on the grounds. It has to be on the grounds. So even when they meet, they'll have a lot of dialogues and conversations, and then they'll tell them, listen, apart from the arms that I spoke to you about, we have the agencies, that's the UNICEF, UNESCO, UNFU, and all those things. Listen, and then they have all the agencies that's supposed to carry messages through diverse means to the people. But even to prove to you or to show to you that the UN still cares about opening up the United Nations, there was a time that even people thought that when you say UN, it's some group of diplomats who are always in suits. Nobody can talk to them. So these are the reasons. And then people thought that, hey, this is not it's not a child's play. Hey, UN is for big shots and all that. So the UN realized that, Chani, there's something more that we can do. So then that's where groups like WUFUNA, the World Federation of the United Nations, was formed. So you can see the WUFUNA that came about was supposed to be a voluntary, people that were volunteering for the UN were part of the WUFUNA. So WUFUNA came in place to make sure that a lot more people who will not even call themselves diplomats to be able to get closer to the UN so that they can know. Because these few people who are the senior diplomats, some of them are making the UN look very complicated in some way. So let's have WUFUNA. That would be like the people's movement of the UN. You talk about movement, you talk about what is movement? Something moving from here to here, or a push. So WUFUNA is the movement of the people, the voice of the UN. So now everything the United Nations wants to do, apart from the agencies that have their own concentrations, the only organization that can talk about everything, get into every business, move around, do this, all topics, whether it's UNICEF agenda or it's WUFUNA. It's the movement of the UN. It's the people's movement. Who are the people? The people are the members within the member states of the UN. So WUFUNA had to come in place to now call us for more volunteers who, by so many means, maybe they are not officials or diplomats or workers or interns of the UN, but they believe in the agenda of the UN and they are ready to push it. And what is the agenda of the UN? The agenda of the UN is the whole world coming together, having one voice and say, we have to push for peace and security. We have to push for human rights. If we don't, if we push we allow discrimination to take place, then one part of the people will feel depressed and stressed, and then we will not be able to enhance international relations. Then we'll not be able to maintain peace and order. At the end of the day, we don't want another war. We don't want the world to get up and fight again. So let's have WUFUNA also getting up, building up volunteers on the ground. So that's how WUFUNA came in place, the World Federation of the United Nations. So every country is supposed to have a UNA, United Nations Association. It's like having an organization that says that, oh, let me, as part of my social corporate responsibility, let me have an NGO that can be used to do this. So the United Nations decided to have WUFUNA that would push in the agenda on the grassroots. A lot more volunteers come out and spread the word. So just in case a president can attend a General Assembly, go back to the country, and maybe due to political reasons, decide to be slow on an agenda. So that's the work of WUFUNA in every country. So now, as WUFUNA kept going, they realized that, listen, we've been talking about peace and security, human rights, and all these things. Majority of the members of the UNA2 are older people. What are we going to do? And the one arm of the UN to that is the Security Council. That is not even WUFUNA. Also decided that, listen, we have to be able to pass laws. So you see, we are talking about the role of the United Nations. So as I'm saying all these things, look at all the efforts, the roles that the United Nations has put in place and so continue to do. Even when they expand, they do all these things, they also realize that, listen, we have to do this. So the Security Council, that's one of the organs of the UN, decided, listen, let's pass Resolution 2250. So it was also passed, and Resolution 2250 talks about peace and security. The whole idea of UN Security Council Resolution 2250. You guys should write it down and read more about it. It talks about the inclusion of young people to be part of the decision-making process across all levels. So it doesn't matter how your country takes decisions, whether through legislature, whether through chieftaincy or religious, across all levels. It does everywhere. The UN's agenda is that, listen, there has to be a way that every country would include young people in taking decisions. Because when young people are left out, there's chaos. Because we want to push peace. Now, older people go and sit down and dialogue. Young people are not aware of what is going on. Meanwhile, young people form the majority of the human race all the time. And they are always on the front line. But if from the making and taking of decisions and the planning, young people are put to the table, it will be very, very difficult. So if you ask me, what is one of the major steps the UN took? I'll say passing of the Resolution 2250. It's a big deal for me. And having Wufuna, who was already on the grounds, getting more and more volunteers in every country, making sure that there's UN in every country to understand what the UN is about, why we are all getting together, why the whole world is getting united. Now, the Security Council is also passing Resolution 2250. How do you pass this resolution without young people? If you tell the older ones and they are jealous of young people and they still don't implement it, how would they be able to achieve it? The UN also now appointed a UN youth envoy. So now in the UN headquarters, we have somebody, a title, a face, an office that is called UN youth envoy. So there's a personality even at the top there who must make sure that young people are part of everything going on in the world. Must be able to organize empowerment, model United Nations. So now even model United Nations programs came about and a whole lot. So the UN has tried in so many ways to create or develop programs that will begin and even introduce paid internships where a lot more young people will be accepted into UN circles to come in with their intention. While they are there, they learn more about the UN as to whether they work there full time or not. They can go out there and talk about what they have seen in the UN. But so many years ago, people thought that the UN is just one country being biased and doing their own thing. But you see, it's lack of communication and education. And if we don't get together like that and include young people, then it's going to be waste of time. So whilst Wufuna realized that this whole 2250 has been passed, Wufuna realized that, listen, even with the Wufuna, we have too many old people. Let's separate the youth. Let's gather the youth. Let the youth also be together. And that's the reason why they also formed what is called, where I am coming from, the UNYA, the United Nations Youth Association Ghana. So the UNYA, in short, is Wufuna. But this one has UY inside, meaning that these are young people that are part of Wufuna. They are part of the UNA, but they are more vibrant. They are more outspoken. So whatever the UN is saying that the UNAs are pushing, let's also throw it to the Wufuna youth, so that those people can also create or develop initiatives that will interest every single youth in their country. So let's say we have UNA here, full of older people. Now we have to engage young people. That's what the UN is trying to achieve. So now, why don't you guys create initiatives that will attract every youth? And let's remember, not every youth is in school. So we cannot develop only educational programs. Some kids don't want to school, that they want to do sports. So it means that the UNYAs might develop sporting activity. Some people like to debate, some like entertainment, a whole lot. Some youth are in some type of villages that They like to follow chiefs and that and that. We have a lot of confusion that happens. Let's even use Ghana. At this chieftaincy between see land guards. How many land guards have we seen that are older people? When you talk about war, fight, it starts from countries, it starts from tribes, and then it develops with neighboring countries, and then allies get involved. You understand? So these are the reasons why Bufuna youth or the UNYAs are supposed to develop initiatives to gather young people to different initiatives, okay? So that we can be able to satisfy the interest of every youth to come together. Once we have all these groupings, we know that we are all coming from one source. We have an agenda. The agenda is to maintain peace and unity. So let's say if I organize all the youth in my area who like sports together, I organize all the youth in my area who likes education, and I know that we are all from one umbrella. We can create common activities among ourselves. And once we are able to achieve that, it means that it's very easy, or we will be able to eliminate confusion in our community. So UNYA, for example, believes in building community clubs, campus clubs. So you go here, there's confusion, you come here, there's confusion. You realize that one of the ways that you can easily achieve peace is that, okay, all UNYAs come, like our campus clubs. We have the United Nations campus clubs. And we know that on campus, you have the SLC. The SLCs now have become very, very political, extremely political. So if we have a UNYA on a particular campus, the membership of that club must be MDC, MPP, CPP, and whole lot, a mix. And that is the only way we will be able to say that, listen, when we meet as a United Nations body, we are for peace. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. So we put all our interests together and we're able to dialogue. You realize that from NDC and Jones is MPP, if Jones goes back and people are trying to talk to him, because we met at a UNYA platform and we are there, and we have a lot of youth empowerment programs, a lot of talk on peace and security. When we go back to our various political parties, it is very difficult to us to be able to go and instigate fight, because we've used our different backgrounds under one umbrella to learn about peace and security. So when we go back, we now become disciples to talk about peace and security. So this is what the whole thing about UNYA is about. People ask, Lillian, so why are you guys doing UNYA and you are doing parliament, you are doing entertainment here? Recently, we're doing a lot of sporting activities with Zena on the stadium and a whole lot. So people wonder. And sometimes we see you doing medical activity screening. Sometimes you go to the rural places, sharing slippers and all that. The whole agenda is to attract every youth. And once we get their attention, to talk to them about the essence of maintaining peace. And all these initiatives are something that's from the United Nations through the UNA, the UNYS, the Bufuna Youth Network, the UNV, the UN Volunteers, the Youth Envoy, even now the SDGs. The SDGs came to place to achieve all these things. And how many people do you think, how many elderly people do you think can go out there to push the agenda of the SDGs before the 2030 agenda? It's young people. That's why you see UNY trying to create what is called the SDGs ambassadors. These people are people that we chant, we move into your community to talk about the SDGs and get disciples that will follow them to do everything practical steps to achieve what a UN is advocating for. So the role that the United Nations is playing are some of these things that I've mentioned to you. Okay? So I'll pause here. If anybody has a question, you can ask. If you have a question, you can ask. And then the last thing I'll also say, if you are in a country that is a member state of the UN, then it's very, very important that you see yourself, your individual self, as part of the United Nations, and then get to monitor the UN online, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. When it's getting time for General Assembly, you can organize platforms. You can even organize a youth forum, get young people to speak, say something, send a petition to your government. When you attend a General Assembly, this is what I want to talk about. It's all allowed. Okay? So these are all parts of ways that we want to enhance peace and security. So thank you very much. I'll pause here, and if you have any questions, I'll answer. So over to you, Jones.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Um, Honorable participants, if you have questions, kindly indicate it in the in-call message, and I'll call you to ask your question. However, I have some questions that I want to ask. My first question goes like this. Your Excellency, you have realized that you have much experience with respect to United Nations and even international affairs. Can you share with us some of your experiences within the international space? Maybe places you went to or transpired, how youth assemblies and then all those decisions they have taken have affected our local government and then all those. If you could share with us some of your international experiences, we would really love it. Thank you.
Okay. Um, is there any other question, or I should just answer this, and after when you ask, then I can.
Yes, please. You answer mine, and when there's any other question, we would admit it for you to answer.
Okay.
Yeah. So for now, you can proceed to answer my question, please. Whilst we get the other question.
Okay. I've attended personally. I've attended the youth assembly. Initially, the youth assembly for youth between the ages of 15 to 24. Okay, 15 to 24. And so, if you're a young individual and you are between the age of 15 to 24, you qualified at the time to attend the youth assembly at the United Nations. It's a biannual event which aims to foster conversation between students, UN representatives, the private sector, civil society, and the main purpose of these youth assemblies are to empower young people, okay, from all over the world, and encourage them to become active participants, okay, especially since the introduction of these, what do we call it, SDGs. The SDGs, that's where formerly known as the MDGs, okay. So that's how come the youth assembly was formed. And personally, when you attend these youth assemblies, you meet a lot of young individuals that you'll be marveled. You'll be like, what? Now, the age, even this year, there's a release for youth assembly that is 35. The age is even shifted to 35. But every year, listen, you attend these youth assemblies and you see people who are much older. What does that tell you? That tells you that even when the first time I attended a youth assembly, I was even older than the age that was specified. It's allowed. Younger, yes, I think before the corona year, we went to the UN headquarters. The first one was in Washington, D.C. Then we had another one, the National Youth Day. And we had a lot of young people from Malaysia. One little girl gave a speech, was just like 8, 9 years old. So the youth assembly will give all this age range, but when you get there, you see first and people who are younger than the age or older. And all these people see themselves as useful. And I always share this experience because it makes me feel or realize that when you say youth, who you say youth? It's a mindset. It's a mindset. A lot of people would, at this time, try to engage themselves in activities that are very vibrant and active and whole lot. But when they hit like 40 years, they think, oh, I know my youth, and they begin to slow down. But I feel like I learned from these youth assemblies that it doesn't matter your age. It's about how you feel, how energetic you are. But if somebody approaches you and wants you to cause confusion in your neighborhood, the person will not look at your age first. The person will look at how vibrant you are, how energetic you are. So from all the time, anytime I come back from a youth assembly, one thing I share is that if you find yourself in a community or in an environment that your voice really matters, that you are someone that when you get up and you scream or you shout, everybody listens to you. And everybody says that, wow, this person's our leader. Anytime you have the energy to move and thousands of young people, hundreds can follow you, it means that you are youth. It's one of the things I learned. So the whole idea of assembling young people is that you are the voice. The now, I always say the now future. What about the future? It starts from now. So please, let's not begin to slow down and say that let the next generation come. For as long as you have the energy to work, then you look at yourself that somebody can approach you to create any form of confusion. Be the voice of your community. Have a peaceful voice. This I'm saying, I even learned it from one of the youth assembly. I have traveled to different countries, attending international youth programs, forums, seminars. I've spoken on different international platforms where maybe I'll be given a topic to just touch on. But when people begin to ask questions, you realize that it's very important to also engage yourself or network yourself with people from different cultures, people with different type of reasoning. We shouldn't. One of the things I learned speaking on different platforms is that we must not restrict ourselves or to our cultures or be one-sided or have some kind of mindset. Let's say, oh, I'm a Ghanaian, we have our culture, we have our way of doing things. You must make sure that you have an open mindset. You must not be quick to judge people. You must begin to look at people. And anytime you find yourself on a platform with different people from different cultures, on an international platform, Lillian, what I always do is I'm quiet. I listen more. So sometimes when I travel and I meet people, they say, oh, Madam Lillian, you're always quiet. But those who know me know that I'm not quiet at all. But a lot of people that have met me on platforms that have different people will say that I'm quiet because you know why? I prefer to listen. When you listen, you get to know what people are thinking. You get to know how they even reason, how they even see you, or their perception on even your country, not even your country, maybe your continent, you know? And then you sit down, and then when you want to approach them, you'll be in a better position to be able to talk to them. Because, like, even if you look at Ghana, the Ewas, the Gans, the Fantis, even among the Akan, when we say Akan, look at it. Akan is broad. Now the Chains, the Shantis, even the Shantis and the Chains don't get along. And they're all Akan, the Fantis. So if you go to one tribe or one area and you see how they very little things that you take for granted. Especially, let's say you go to a typical fancy home. I'm a fancy, so I can always use that. If you go to a typical fancy home, fancy men are trained sometimes to even serve their wives. You see, a typical fancy man that was brought up with, like maybe the both parents are fancies, grew up in the central region. You'll not be surprised to go to the home and he's washing his wife's things. You'll not be surprised to go to the home and maybe the wife is taking a nap and he's bathing the baby and he's doing on that. I'm just striking average. A lot of men can do that. But it will be very difficult to go to another tribe to see the man maybe doing it and the wife is resting. It will be like a taboo, even amongst us as a country. So imagine going on different platforms and meeting people from Zimbabwe, from here, and remember, they will also have their tribes, their way of thinking, planning, and it will be different. So my experience is that anytime I'm on any of these international platforms, I have to listen more, observe on what people observe before I draw my conclusion, before I begin to say things I'm not supposed to say. So it has also helped me in my everyday life. It has helped me know that people are different. And we can't continue to push this agenda of peace and security without being adaptable, without having being accepting others, without being tolerant. You know, these are very important things that, yes, I can say growing up you learn from home, but as you travel, you explore, you realize that these are essential attributes that we must acquire. Even if you don't have them, you must achieve them. You must force yourself to have them. You can't be a volunteer for the UN and say, as for me, I'm not diplomatic. I say it's raw. If you say it's raw, you cannot be an advocate for peace because to you, this has to be done this way. Can't you have common sense? If we do this way, it's going to be this way. And then you go on an international war front or a dispute, and two people are fighting and they don't understand each other. Your first bet is not to take sides, is to be neutral and observe. You realize that these people, their culture is this way, this is the way they think. These people, this is the way they think. So now you can strike and say, okay, now let me look at how I can just pick this and pick this, put a neutral platform where you realize that they can agree. You use that first to get them to get along, then it'll be easier for them to communicate. Then you can tackle the rest. So these are most of the things that I have learned. It has really helped me in my everyday life. Yeah.
Thank you so much for answering that question. You have given us an insight as well. Fellow participants, if you have any question, kindly indicate it in the inform message in our colleague. But since there is no indication, I'll proceed with my question. Her Excellency, in your presentation, you have indicated that UN has developed structures which is supposed to make the voices of youth louder and give them more opportunity to take part in decision making. There is a saying that wisdom comes by age, and sometimes the aged say that the youth have more opportunity than them since they are old. So it's like they're trying to incinerate that, let the old occupy. And when it is your turn to also be old, you occupy. Her Excellency, does this favor the United Council Resolution 2250? If this saying, does it favor it or it actually contributes to the realization of these of the SCR 2250? And in your own opinion, how can this saying be tackled in order for the 22 resolution 2250 be realized? Thank you.
I think that whatever this saying is, that wisdom are for the aged is true. But I don't know how to say this in English. There's a proverb that says, wisdom or intelligence is not in the mind of one person. It is that same statement. It's one of these statements that can also create war, can also create confusion. If one group of people get up and say that wisdom is associated only with a particular age, then you'll be surprised to know. Otherwise, then we can say that nobody should go on retirement. When you get employed and you're working, you should be there till you die. Simple. Because then it means that the older you get, the more wisdom you acquire. Isn't it?
Yes.
The older you get, the more wisdom you acquire. So why must you hit a particular age and then retire? You realize that a lot more younger people are pushed into the organization to take over. So I always use this as a practical example. So in clear sense, it's not true. It's not true to attribute wisdom to a particular age. And listen, you can have wisdom, but what about maturity? So then, if we talk about maturity, are we also going to say that only the matured, older ones that are matured? Sometimes you see lots of young people, some even under the age of the acclaimed youth age, who are very matured in taking decisions. You go to some homes, you see the parents not agreeing, fighting all the time, not being able to even communicate very well. And sometimes it will take the children. It will take the children to be able to open the eyes of their parents. How do we achieve wisdom? How? The certain type of wisdom that we achieve from our homes, growing up, your environment, the type that we get from a school. So we have different mindsets, different. I don't want to talk about wisdom, man. That's a whole topic. But let not anybody deceive you that when you say wisdom, it's only for the aged. It's not true. Otherwise, then they should be there working, take over everything till they die. But even with that, we have weakness. We have people becoming fragile. So it's really important. Simple and short, Jones, let me explain it to you. It's very important that it doesn't matter how old you are. If you think that the wisdom is for old people, then begin to mentor young people. Simple and short, teacher. Begin to mentor young people and give them, transfer that wisdom to them. But they are more energized, they're energetic, they are vibrant, they are this. And if you are old and you know that you are full of, you are very wise, full of wisdom, and you can achieve more, your energy level will even go down as you grow older. So even if that's the case, why don't we impact this wisdom, this knowledge that we have to a much more younger people? So when the reality sets in and you are weak, and you imparted this wisdom to a younger version of you, that person can take over. So in simple terms, young people are still the now future. Because in all aspects, when young people are instilled or burdened with a lot of wisdom, plus their energy, plus their education, plus them being empowered, mean that they can do better. If a younger person is taught well and given the right direction, empowered, that young person will realize that taking care of these elderly people is a priority. It's like having a child, and training the child right. The child grows up, it doesn't matter how much money the child makes. The child knows that, listen, I have to take care of my parents. It's not my responsibility to become a mother to my parents, but I have a responsibility to ensure that they don't suffer in their old age. If every young person in every country is empowered, educated, directed, given good guidance to grow as they grow older, mature well, and acquire of wisdom, they will know that even if the elders retire, we have to put in place to secure their future. And the world will be much more of a better place. So the UN decides, let's put in a lot of things to make sure young people come to the decision-making table. They realize that it is better for them young people to be part of taking the decisions before these older ones go away. So that these people can be able to be stronger leaders. They'll know better from their own maturity, from their own knowledge, and plus what they have firsthand learned from these elderly ones. So that as other ones, the impartation or the impact is given to the next generation. So if I've answered your question, wisdom can never, or being wise can never be attributed to a particular age or an age group. It's never true. It's never true. And even if it is, then let's let resolution 2250 work. Let's empower younger people, assuming that they are not full of wisdom. And let's teach them. Let's guide them. Let's help them acquire the wisdom that they need to acquire. Let's help them mature right. Let them know that it's important to maintain peace and security, that engage in useless activities that will bring out chaos and fight. Let's share with them how the World War was, how terrible the situation was, what caused it, tribal confusion, misunderstanding, and all that. And then once they get all this knowledge, they will be able to take better decisions and act right. And all these things will come to an end. So I think that's about it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Mr. Godwin Kwashi, would you like me to read your question or you unmute yourself and ask your question? Hello.
I think, yeah. You read it for me.
I should read it for you. Okay, so if you have any follow-up, you can ask after Her Excellency is done answering your question. Her Excellency, Mr. Godwin Kwasi wrote, Madam, you alluded to the fact that peace is the common surviving factor for every society, and that is the only reason why United Nations is established to brief peace among its member countries and beyond. But you would bear with me that the society UN has become, you bear with me that society UN has become more reactive than proactive when conflict arises. How will you be able to actively engage? How will you be able to actively engage in the operations of UN, and how will their voices be heard? I don't know whether the question is clear.
I think that he's just trying to, I don't know, but I don't want to get it wrong, that the UN is not functioning the way it's supposed to be or what?
Yes, Mr. Godwin, kindly clarify your question.
Yeah, that is what I mean, because sometimes you realize that instead of the UN, if they are monitoring of circuit, they should be step ahead of things. In the occurrences of the conflict, they are not involved. They are only involved afterwards of the destruction.
Okay, the line is breaking. The line is breaking, but if you say that the UN is proactive, then there's a good thing, because who is a proactive person? A proactive person or individual is somebody who is constantly looking ahead, looking into the future, making sure things happen. You understand? Proactive people are always actively engaged. Okay, observing. And if okay, let's even try to. And I think if you ask me, that is what the UN does. The UN is always having meetings, getting the agencies. Like I said, even UNYA comes down. So UNA will phone and all that, and it's to organize activities ahead of time. We don't have to wait for the UN to come and attend the General Assembly and come and say, go and do this. It looks at a vision. We have to get this thing done. We have to represent it. So, Godfrey, your name is, the UN has read into the future and realize that, listen, we are all from different backgrounds, different countries. If we don't set up institutions, if we don't put together agencies that will have different focus areas, if we don't engage the youth now and get them to be actively in model United Nations programs, we organize some in different countries to encourage them to move around the world and blah, 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 engage each other, then it's going to be more problematic. And listen, one of the ways, and one of the easiest, I don't know any better way that the UN can do this by preventing war. And somebody say the UN waits for war to come. No. But I said, United Nations is not one country sitting there somewhere like one CEO calling all the shots. They're all these countries together. And all these things, they all have a role to play. That's why in my first presentation I said, if you find yourself in the member states of the UN, then see yourself as UN. Why is this UN there? It says peace and security, good communication, blah, 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 blah. Then you ask yourself, what role am I playing? So you don't sit in Liberia and then you don't even pay attention to the UN. They say, let's form UNYA, mobilize the youth. You will not do it. Come, let's volunteer. You will not do it. Come, let's do this. You will not do it. And then when somebody somewhere don't agree, what you could have helped, and it starts creating confusion, and then you say that, now UN people have come. Now that we are fighting, they have come. What else do you want them to do? They will have to come because they wouldn't want it to escalate. But what was happening when countries begin to look at what's happening in Russia and Ukraine? People are sitting there blaming the UN. If isn't Russia part of it, what is Russia even doing? What active role is Russia playing in the UN? And some of these countries who don't want to listen to anybody. What do you want UN to do? UN is Ghana. UN is all the member states. They can put in policies. They can attend meetings, assemblies, conferences, pass resolutions. Let's agree. Why are we agreeing today and signing this resolution down? I hope you all know what resolution is. What is an agreement that is passed into law? It's called a resolution. Let's give these resolutions numbers so that people can always reference to them and read about it. Why do you think the UN will pass resolution in 2250? Because it saw that into the future, if we don't put these things in place, enforce government, or put in groups or volunteer groups to push this agenda from today, in 2030, it will come back to hit us. And the only way these can be achievable is when you and I play a role. Jones and this person plays his role. This person plays his role. Then we spread the word. We gather more people. Let's assume every member state decide that, let's have UNA. Look at even Ghana, the Foreign Affairs Ministry. One single individual gets an appointment there, whose job is to handle multilateral, whose job is to handle all the UN organizations or agencies in this country. But that person will decide that because I don't like this person in this group, I will not mind them. I will sabotage them. And you find yourself working in a department called Foreign Affairs. You see, all these things are pulling down syndrome. We have people in the multilateral department. The current director, I'll mention her name, like maybe it's Kusebo. And one Cynthia Pra, who is the rep, or she was the secretariat for what we call the United Nations Information Desk, the administrator or secretary or whatever. When they don't like you, it doesn't matter what you are trying to achieve. They don't remember that they are working in offices that represent a body that is pushing peace and security, and they don't care. One day I have to tell somebody that tells them, listen, you are doing this job and you go on retirement one day. What is the legacy? What are you leaving? Are you going to sit there and say, oh, when I was there, I was just traveling as a diplomat, I was just enjoying myself? You have to leave a legacy. You have to sit down and say, when I was there, I was able to ensure this officer to do things right. I was able to maintain peace and order. I always tell people, everywhere you find yourself, make sure you leave good footprints. Be remembered for the good things that you did. Be remembered for the peace that you stood for. Be remembered for the impact that you put on somebody's life. Don't take advantage and say, oh, what are the things I'll gain at the expense of other people? The United Nations is not one person. So if you say that, oh, the UN is not being proactive now, the UN is not this, why do you think they're putting all these things in place? Who is the UN? It's you and I. Okay? So let's do your part, and let's all desire to volunteer, sacrifice, if we want a better world. Well, that's what the United Nations is all about. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Mr. Godwin Kwashi, do you have a follow-up?
Oh, I'm okay with the explanation.
Thank you very much, madam. I have a follow-up on my earlier question. Her Excellency, I do concur with the answer you have given me with respect to the issue of wisdom. There is another issue that I think affects the resolution. When the youths of today, as even you even cited, holding SRC positions and other positions, it appears they take advantage of those positions for financial to amass wealth and then all those, and they do mess up. And out of this, it appears the aged or the people at the top feel like they are still not ready to take up very big responsibilities. Is this situation of youth messing up when they are given opportunity to serve at a tender age, affecting the realization of the Security Council Resolution 2250, and what is the way forward with respect to youth holding very such positions SRC at such youthful age? Thank you very much.
Okay, so it all boils down to empowerment. The same thing we talk about wisdom, knowledge, being able to impact. Okay, it's not unfortunate when you focus only on SRC, how political this has become. It's rather unfortunate. But then again, like I said, if the older ones will also set up good examples, if the older one, let me tell you something. If somebody wants to stand for SRC, and one particular political party decides that, oh, well, I'll sponsor you, I'll give you money, do this, and people, nobody stands for SRC for the first time having experience in that. So if other people, any kind of political, young political groups or some campaign and all these competitive things, and they go and they pump money in, they begin to advise them, they begin to teach them this, and somebody finishes school and wants a job and gets an office and sees a 50 or 80 something year or 60 something year old man and say, before I can do this, do this. You see, young people learn from the older ones. So, in a way, I'll say that the network of young people among themselves and the positive energy impacting the positive life is very important. And that is the reason why the UNYA is the main reason why, one of the main reasons why we have the Ufuna Youth Network and now all the UNYA's network happening. It's just like the Bible saying, do not forsake the assembly of the brethren. Do not forsake the assembly of the brethren. Why does the Bible say that? Because when you stay with your brethren, your own, you learn, you acquire positivity. The same thing. Sometimes young people even learn bad morals from older people. If you have a child in the house whose parents or elders are always saying kwasia, abua, insult, that's what the child learns. That's what they learn. So if you're saying that young people, some are very corrupt, you cannot blame them all the time. We cannot say that this is affecting the resolution 2250. Actually, that is why the resolution 2250 is needed. It didn't say young people should be made the decision makers in the country. It says young people, and it's encouraging young people to be part of the decision making table. So if elderly people are helping pass these laws, then when young people sit to them to make decisions or take decisions, they must know that these are the future leaders, the now leaders that we are trying to produce. What kind of examples are they setting? So when it comes to these topics, I don't like blaming games. I don't like pointing to young people. Majority of the things, any student leader that you see is amassing funds and all that, check into his issue, look at his parents. You'll be surprised to know that the father was maybe a CEO of a company that was doing the same, collecting bribes and all that. What type of role models are other people becoming for young people to look up to? If I'm working with you, Jones, and you see me in my office all the time robbing people, all the time I'm trying to scheme people, that's the kind of impartation. It's like working with a pastor. When you work with a man of God, whether you like it or not, sometimes if you make somebody a spiritual leader, the impartation that you get from that person is what the person is. It doesn't matter your prayer life. It doesn't matter how many times you are reading the Bible. If you don't take care, the impact on that person will be on you. You will try to be different. But when the person is your spiritual leader and your mentor, and every day you're the person, sometimes you don't even realize it. Before you realize you are already talking like your pastor. Or even if you're not talking like your gestures, your mannerism. So I'll say this to answer you. No character or no lifestyle of a particular youth must affect resolution in the 250. We should rather look at the positive side and say, okay, as we are seated, let's engage young people. Let them come together. And we young people have a role to play. Once we are put on the decision table, what kind of counsel do we even give to the older ones? Let's be positive minded. What the older one should ask yourself, what kind of impact are we leaving for this young one? And if all of us can put our brains together, if all of us remember first that we are seated here because of a resolution that the United Nations passed. Because of what? Because of peace and security, because of good relations. So why must things go the way to go? So this is the agenda of the United Nations to help make the world a better place, regardless of our religious backgrounds, regardless of our cultural backgrounds. It's supposed to be one people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have indeed answered my question. I can see Boniface online. Boniface, do you have any question? Boniface.
No, please, Honorable.
Oh, okay, I'm learning a lot. Me, I have a lot of questions. I'm also ensuring the resolution, so I want to give the opportunity to everyone. Mr. Dennis, hey, do you have any question?
No, please.
Okay, Mr. Rutherford, do you have any questions?
No, please. I'm okay.
Okay, media, I'll ask the question. Your Excellency, we have seen that you are part of a lot of NGOs, and you yourself, you are a humanitarian, someone who cares for the deprived. We would like to know some of your achievements, some of the things that you are doing that are humanitarian, and also some projects of your foundation. If you could please share some with us, would like it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. With this question, I think naturally I just love to volunteer. I like to serve. That's one thing about me. It gives me joy when I realize that I have to render service. I have to render service. But I believe that it is in that you enhance your network. If I want to do things only for profit, it means that I'll focus on only my expertise. Let's say that I sell tomatoes. So the sales of tomatoes is what I'm good at. And I'm not ready to sacrifice, to sell, to do anything with anybody, and focus on what I know how to do best. Getting potatoes, tomatoes, going to the market and selling them. Ask yourself, how many people will I get to know? What will I learn from that? It will be just a one-way lifestyle. But when you have a heart of service, you want to serve, network yourself. If you want to serve, it means that it's not only, look at the word service. It means that you are not even doing something that is your expertise. You want to serve, it means that it doesn't matter who it is or wherever you want to serve is. You want to go and serve. Now, who is the servant? You want to find out what is happening. How can I join? What can I do to help? So now, because you are already ready to serve, means that you must have a humble spirit. So then you are now taught what to do. So now, first point, see what you've acquired, knowledge. What you are being taught, what you have to do, and it's not a department or an area that is your particular area. You are acquiring knowledge. And after you acquire the knowledge and you serve and go, would they take the knowledge away from you? No. You build an experience. You become an expert in that field. You didn't have to go to school for it. You went to serve. And sometimes, listen, you can go to school and learn something. But when you finish, you have to do national service. You have to go on the field. That's why employers even ask 2 years experience, 3 years experience. Sometimes the best experiences that we get is from being servants. The woman we serve. Because when you believe that this is what I'm good at, and you feel like you're an expert, you don't want to serve. And if unfortunately you are too proud, nobody even is able to approach you, then you don't even learn new things. If you make mistakes, it's a blow in your face. But when you serve, you open or you have the heart of a philanthropist. You open yourself to do lots of things to other people. And then because you are dealing with experts in their field, they learn to teach you more before you realize you know everything. So that's how mine started. I love to join people. How can I help? How can I help? So every time my friends ask me, how can I help? Before I realize I know a lot of things. And listen, that also made me develop a lot of interest. So if you look at my education background, I went to school in London first to do IT because when IT first came, I had an auntie who was with the UN who was good with this kind of thing, and IT was new. And the only way I could fit in was trying to help, and I could learn. So I was like, I get so excited with information systems and IT and stuff like that. It was even through serving and volunteering and helping that got me into the field of tourism and culture and entertainment. And for everything that I said, as I begin to build practical skills, I try to go to school for it. So I can be a master in my game. And that's how every young person must live. When you acquire knowledge and you can also, when you acquire an experience and you can try to go to school to acquire knowledge, if you can afford it, or choose even certifications, there are a lot of certifications that are free. It's very important. For everything that you see yourself doing, try to be a master in that game. Attaining mastery is very, very important. It's key to everything. So you realize that I'll do a little bit of this, and I'll go to school for it. Oh, okay. So then because I have served, I've developed an interest. It means that next time when I see myself with people who are very good, I can do more than just be on the ground. I can even do more and impact onto more people. So that is how come you see that people say, Alina, you have your own NGO, but you're with so many NGOs. And sometimes when it's not my NGO doing something, I don't come and say, oh, this is not my NGO, so I'll not participate. If I have to be part of your NGO to do something and have to wear the volunteer tag, I'll do it. Because why? Because I like to serve. So you can only achieve these things if you want to learn more. And nobody should think that when you volunteer, it's a waste of time. When you volunteer, you acquire wisdom, you acquire experience. You'll be surprised that you start working and a lot of things that your boss might not even expect you to know. You'll be doing more than is expected of you. That's how you see people get jobs. And within 2, 3, 4, 5 years, they are promoted to the top. That's why you see CEOs retiring and giving their companies to individuals to manage, to handle, instead of their own children. Nobody goes to school to acquire knowledge in 10 or 15 fields. You acquire them on being on the ground. And with my NGO, we do a lot of medical screenings, we do a lot of food sharing, we take off the aged. It started more of a medical thing, but I grew up in the hospital. I have a lot of doctor friends. So it's more of getting drugs, going on outreaches, and I love the things of God. And most of the time, it is by giving that you can win souls. Because there are a lot of people who don't understand. They think that to be a Christian must have it all. When you go try and talk to them about Christ, and they are hungry, or they are barefooted, the sun is scorching, and you are in shoes, and you are telling them that Jesus is love. So I decided that's okay. Anytime I'm going somewhere out of my comfort zone to talk about somebody, to talk to someone about the love of Christ, then I will take something to share with somebody that does not have. I can't go to a very bad village where I see a lot of young people who cannot even have food to eat. And I go stay there with 2, 3 days. And if I'm camping with my friends, we eat and they see us and they're hungry, we finish and go and share the word of God with them. The word of God talks about love. It's better to share the little that you have with that person, living a very good practical lifestyle. I'm not saying it's only for Christians. Whatever you believe in, like I said, try to be a master in your game. Try to be the best in whatever you choose to do. And then above all, try to make sure that for everything that you're doing, you're making impact and leaving good footprint. That's the only way that people can remember your good deeds. People can say that I can look up to Lillian and I can do some of the things that she's doing and I can also teach other people. And all that can help the world be a better place. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Please, Mr. Raphael Rutherford, I think you have a question. Kindly unmute yourself and ask your question. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Please, my first question is, as a youth, what are some of the essential or key factors to consider in order to make meaningful impact in your society or your workplaces? And then the second one is, I want to know, I would like essentially to give me some specific strategies, some ways to, in order to develop in, let's say, in mobilization of people to achieve a particular goal. What are some of the strategic ways in organizing this kind of people for them to follow you? Thank you.
Can you please repeat your first question?
All right, the first question, I said, as a youth, what are some of the essential or key factors to consider in order to make meaningful impacts in your society or your workplaces?
Okay. So some of the ways or the strategies or whatever you can do to make meaningful impact. Being honest and having a positive attitude said that in so many ways. Listen, just put it in your mind. This is my workplace. What am I supposed to do here? What are the rules of this organization saying? And remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do. It's always what you do, not what you say. You can go for an interview and brag and talk and talk. Why do you think people get sacked? From school or from workplaces? This is what I have told myself, Lillian. Everywhere I go, I have to do the right thing. I'm not perfect, so I have to learn to say sorry. Sometimes it's difficult for some of us to say sorry, to apologize. It's very important to develop that skill also because we are not perfect. Nobody can live and say I don't make mistakes. But if you have a very good habit of saying sorry, acknowledging that you are wrong, and when your boss says one, you say three. There are some people they will never say sorry because they always think that they have big mouth, they can justify themselves. If you keep saying, explaining yourself and arguing your way through, one day everybody get tired of you. Learn to apologize, learn to say sorry, you go a very long way. So that everywhere you are, you can make an impact. Let people even say of you, hey, as for Lillian, she will come and acknowledge this thing that you are saying that is Lillian who did this. She will come and if it's truly her, she will admit and she will apologize. It is better for people to know you that even you like to say sorry than they saying that as of this girl, she will come and lie about it. Hey, there are people that cannot be trusted wherever they are. You have to live a life that, listen, even when you did it, let people even begin to defend you before you get there. You have to set example everywhere you are. They say everywhere you are, let the little light in you shine. Let it shine. Let it be known about Jones. That as for Jones, if you tell Jones to sit here, that's what he will do. If he gets up just in case because of some reasons beyond his control, he will let you know. Doesn't let you know and you come and ask him, he speak the truth. Listen, everywhere you find yourself, be impactful. Leave that place and be missed. Simple put, leave that place and be missed. Tell myself, I'm here for this moment. It's temporal. It's a journey for me. But I'll make sure that the footprints I leave here, anything I do, one day if I'm not here, there should be a vacuum. If you ask me right now, if John should leave UNYA, it will affect me big time. In fact, I can't afford to allow Jones to even decide to stop volunteering for the UNYA. Because he's a positive impact. Like he completes me as a country head. Let's even say any of my deputies, one or two of them, or any of the patrons, or board members tells me that only and I'm tired of you, I want to go. There are numbers of them that can tell that I'll tell them, oh, it's okay, I wish you will go. See the comparison. I'm talking about patrons and board members and head body members. There are a couple of them that can tell them, oh, you want to leave? Oh, I don't even ask them, oh, what's going on? No. I'll say, okay. In fact, if you don't take out, I'll celebrate. Because what does that mean tell me? They are occupying a space. They are occupying a space that somebody else could have been more impactful or helpful towards my journey in being a country head. If Jones decides to leave today, and unless I come to water ranging to go and look for the chief, to go and help me beg him not to leave, it tells you that he's making an impact. He is not giving me money. I need money to control UNYA. He's not giving me money. But every day of his life, anytime he types hi to me, I feel like I have to relax. Anytime somebody else will type hi to me, I feel like, oh, Jesus, I'm dead. There are some people that when they even greet you, then you get upset because you know that it's trouble. There are some people when they greet you, you feel like, he has come, I'm relieved. You know that a lot of stress is going to go away from you. So to answer your question, Raphael, or whoever asks this question, anywhere you find yourself, tell yourself, what am I doing to help make other people's life better? And it's simple. And even that answers your second question. That will even automatically help rally people to follow you. But they know that they can trust you. They know that you are a positive person for their life. And I'm not saying that you can also do. Yeah, I think that's about it. Be truthful. Let your A be A and no be no. Let people know that, listen, when you say this is what you do. If you can't do it, you explain to them. When it's convenient, you're able to do it, you do it right. Don't let people think that you're wasting their time. If you want to organize maybe a community football, maybe soccer tournament in your community, and time is approaching and you can't afford to do it, you don't force and let people come and you deceive them. You tell them the truth. Listen, the truth is the truth. Listen, because of lack of this, you can't let it happen. They will be disappointed, but it's the truth. Another time when it happens, and they come there, many more people might not come because they think the last time disappointed them, but the few that will come, if you now have the provision or the resources, the few that will come to witness will have more than enough because others didn't come. And they can even go back and give better testimony. There are times I want to organize medical screenings and I'll not get enough drugs. And I'll tell them, listen, let's postpone this. Oh, madam, we'll disappoint the crowd. Is it better to disappoint the crowd than to get a crowd and not be able to satisfy all of them? So when I postpone, and then a few people will come, and you have too many drugs to give away, too many things, and then we're able to take care of each of them better. They're like, wow. Let me tell you, so anytime they say humanitarian Reachout is coming here, everybody wants to come. That will not only take care of them and give them prescriptions to go and buy, but I'll give them medications, we'll give them even some to their family members at home. If we come to your area and we say we are coming to share food, and too many people don't come, we give in abundance. The next time you are coming there, we get a bigger crowd because they know that hey, women don't buy. Do you get it? Don't be afraid to live a lie or to create a false impression to bounce back against you. So the only way you can win the heart of the people in the community is if you tell them the truth. Some people don't like the truth, but you see, they'll go round and come and thank you later.
All right, thank you very much.
Don't also be afraid to network. There's always strength in unity. There's always strength in unity. Listen, don't be afraid of competition. If something is, knowledge is in your head or it's you, nobody can take it away from you. Sometimes you start a business and you need to teach somebody, the person begins to do the same thing. Don't be afraid. You are the originator. The lesson that the person learned from you, the person wants to rush out to go and do. Listen, the person will go out and implement the 3 steps that he or she learned. And they will be stuck there. So you'll be happy that the person will betray you with the little knowledge they have and go, but they'll be stuck. It's even more dangerous if they pretend and they are close to you. You are the vision bearer. It doesn't matter what people are trying to do, what they are learning from you. Always be a step ahead, and you always overcome. Don't be afraid of competition. In fact, competition is good. Sometimes when you are doing something, nobody is doing it, you feel relaxed. When other people begin to do it, it motivates you to get up to do more. So these are the things that you can do in your communities. And then when you're doing something, you see that 2, 3 other groups that are doing almost the same thing, you invite them. Hey, let's come together. Why do you think we put other logos on other people's things? Let's do it together. There's more strength in that. You put your resources together. I mean, you also try not to deal with selfish and ungrateful people. Make sure people who are positive minded, let's come together. I have 2 bread, you have 2 chocomino, you have 2, let's put it together and feed these 10 people. And then always document the things that you do. When you take pictures of it, you put it out there. Next time, if you go stand anywhere, you say, listen, I did this, I did this, I did this. I want to do more. People will witness and see what you have done and be willing to help you to do more. But if you don't document anything and you go talking, somebody will say, oh, that's what I don't want people to know what I'm doing. It's not a good thing. Otherwise, even the Bible, even in churches, even fetish people, when they do things for you, they want you to go out there and testify. A fetish priest will tell you, when come back and thank my shrine. Testimonies are good. When these days, even Malams are coming on social media and they interview people to speak. Oh, I went to this herbal center and they gave me this. Testimony is very good. Never hide the things that you do for humanity. Document them. Let people see what you're doing and use that to advise people to do more. Make it be change makers. And when you finish, if you need more help to make it bigger, lobby for funds and use the things that you document. And don't wait to do big things before you come out. If you feel in your spirit you're a philanthropist or you like humanity, even if one person in your community that you're making impact, always document it, show it to people. You get people to even come and join you, like me. I like people who want to change their communities. If you call me, I'll come. Honestly, those are the things that it doesn't matter how busy I am. I just finished a meeting. See, I'm close and I came out. I left everybody, came into my car. And I'm using all these hours. I've been traveling, so some people are traveling to Andorra. I have to work on their passport before tomorrow morning. But I'm doing this because this is what gives me joy. When I have to talk to other people and then we share ideas like this, you ask me questions. Your questions even help me attain more knowledge. It helps me remember where I'm coming from and where the things I have to do more. The more you ask me questions, it makes me feel, oh, okay, so somebody's going through this. I'm giving this advice. When was the last time I even did that myself? Maybe I'm getting too busy. I'm passing some things. It's like a check, you know. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Oh, okay. Madam, thank you very much for the accolades during your answers. I'll try my best to also aid you to make more impact with UNYA and other bodies. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Is there any other questions to Her Excellency? If there are no further questions, then we'll proceed to close the program. So if there are any further questions, you can still contact Her Excellency and she would answer or she will reply you. Her Excellency, before we go to the closing remarks, do you have any other thing you want to share with us, which might even be outside the topic for today's seminar? If there is anything, any knowledge, experience, or anything else you want to share with us, the program coming, you are free to do that right now. Thank you.
Oh, I think I've said almost everything. I just want to say that I'm grateful. I'm happy that Jones invited me. I love talking to young people, and I believe that all of us have learned something. And whatever we learn, let's share. Let's live it. Let's live it. And remember that for everything that you do, try and be a master in that game. Mastery is very, very important. That's all I have to say for now about that.
Thank you very much. I don't know whether if that was your closing remark, but if it was not your closing remark, you can still give your closing remark.
Oh, I think that was it. I added all.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'll proceed to my closing remark. Honourable members, on behalf of leadership and myself, I wish to convey the sincerest gratitude of this House to our guest speaker, Her Excellency Youth Association Ghana, and the President of Humanitarian Reachout Foundation, coming to impact us with her massive experience and to lecture us on today's topic. As a matter of fact, Her Excellency is a very busy person. I'm currently serving under her leadership as Director of Administration of UNYA-GH Ghana, and I'm also her personal aide. Madam, God bless you greatly for availing yourself, as you said, to impact us, although you are a very busy person. We really appreciate that. I also wish to convey the gratitude of the House to all members who publicized this seminar and participated in it, and even to our members and supporters who might watch this program after we are done with the live session. I also want to convey the gratitude of the House to our graphic designer who designed this beautiful poster you are seeing for free. He designed it wholeheartedly. He is in the person of Mr. Dollar Glaston, Youth MP, YIP, and 8 years as a public relations officer. Thank you very much for the support. For the attention of the House and to all participants, I hereby indulge you all to follow Youth Impact Parliament on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Telegram, and YouTube. Youth Impact Parliament is a youth organization recently established that creates the opportunity for youths to be groomed in leadership roles, public speaking, parliamentary business, social norms, and values. We are still in our first parliamentary year, and we have held sittings. We hold virtual leadership seminars and panel discussions as well. Our sixth virtual leadership seminar we'll be having Mr. Addo, who will be speaking on public speaking skills. And the date will be unveiled right after today's program. And it will be held on this same platform, Google Meet. Youth Impact Parliament is also open for support from the general public. All those who wish to support us can contact me on 020-147-6896 and support us whether in cash or kind. As of now, our membership is valid for participation in our activities such as this one. Hopefully at the right time, we will introduce all the expected modalities. Thank you. I'll move on to the vote of thanks. Honorable members, at this juncture, I would like to use this opportunity to thank the Almighty God for making this program a success. My second thanks goes to our guest speaker, Her Excellency Lillian Sally Addo, a humanitarian and an impactor, rich international figure who has taken delight in our program to share with us her experiences and facilitate today's program for us. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. God bless you, and we wish for more directions and impact, wealth, and success in your further endeavors. My third thanks goes to all participants, supporters who have directly or indirectly contributed to the success of this program in terms of organization and publicity. God bless you all. And my last thanks goes to all participants who have joined us and who will still join us after this live session. On behalf of myself and leadership, I want to congratulate you all for availing yourself to be impacted by this program. God bless you all abundantly. We will take the closing prayer from Ms. Benedicta Jeke. If she is active, she can give us a closing prayer. Hello, if she's not, yes, kindly unmute yourself and give us a quick prayer.
Okay. We thank God for this opportunity. We give Him all the praise for His kindness upon our lives. We pray that may we not be the hearers only. May He give us more knowledge, more wisdom, and more understanding. We pray for more empowerment for the leaders, that may the Lord grant them wisdom and knowledge so that whatever thing that they will do it according to His will. We thank God for the life of the guest speaker, for the knowledge and the wisdom she shared with us. We pray for more upon his life. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jones Amegashie-Viglo, Speaker of Youth Impact Parliament. God bless you all and have a great night. Your Excellency, thank you so much. God bless you.